Elon Musk has gone completely broke 3 times. In 2008, he was sleeping on couches, borrowing money for rent. Right now, he's worth over $200 billion. So, here's the question nobody's asking. What if he lost it all again tomorrow? What would he do first? The answer reveals a blueprint most people will never see. The first thing most people misunderstand is what wealthy individuals actually optimize for. The average person tries to accumulate money. The top 1% tries to accumulate leverage. Leverage means getting more output than input. 1 hour of work producing 10 hours of value. $1 invested returning $10. One decision unlocking 10 opportunities. Musk doesn't think in terms of saving paychecks. He thinks in terms of asymmetric bets where the potential upside is unlimited and the downside is capped. Here's the mental model. Imagine 2 people standing at a river. Person A tries to carry water across in buckets. Person B builds a pipeline. Both want water on the other side, but only one understands scale. The bucket carrier trades time for money forever. The pipeline builder trades time once, then the system runs itself. Musk spent his entire 20s building pipelines while everyone else carried buckets. This is called building equity instead of earning income. The observation most people miss is this. Musk sold his first company for $22 million at age 27. He immediately took almost all of it and invested into his next company, then his next company, then his next. At one point, he put his last remaining dollars into Tesla and SpaceX simultaneously while both companies were failing. Normal logic says this is reckless. Wealth logic says this is compounding. Here's why it happens. Wealthy people understand the difference between rich and wealthy. Rich means high income. Wealthy means owning assets that produce income without labor. A doctor making $500,000 per year is rich. A person owning a business that generates $500,000 per year in profit is wealthy. The doctor stops earning when they stop working. The business owner earns while they sleep. Musk could disappear tomorrow, and his companies would still generate billions because he built systems, not jobs. The better model is this. Think of wealth as a 3-layer structure. Layer 1 is earned income, or trading time for money. Layer 2 is invested income, money making money through interest or returns. Layer 3 is enterprise income, owning the mechanism that produces value at scale. Most people never leave Layer 1. Comfortable people reach Layer 2. Wealthy people live in Layer 3. Musk skipped directly to Layer 3 before he turned 30. Now, here's the hidden shift. If Musk lost everything tomorrow, he wouldn't start by looking for a job. He wouldn't update his resume or apply to companies. He would immediately ask himself one question. What asymmetric opportunity exists right now that nobody else sees? This is pattern recognition. After building multiple billion-dollar companies, he has developed the ability to spot structural inefficiencies in massive markets. He looks for industries that are 10 times worse than they should be given current technology. The practical framework breaks into 3 parts. First, identify a massive problem that affects millions of people, not a small inconvenience, a fundamental broken system. Musk picked online payments in the 90s, electric vehicles in the 2000s, and space transportation after that. Second, find the technical or structural reason the problem hasn't been solved yet. Usually it's because the solution requires deep expertise, plus massive capital, plus long time horizons. Most people avoid these. Third, build the minimum viable solution and attract the smartest people on the planet to join the mission. Here's the psychological difference. Most people choose comfort over volatility. They want steady paychecks and predictable outcomes. Musk chooses volatility over comfort. He operates in what statisticians call the power law zone. This is where outcomes are not normally distributed. In a normal distribution, most results cluster around the average. In a power law, a tiny number of bets produce nearly all the returns. One investment returns 1,000x while 9 others fail. One company becomes worth 1 trillion while 9 others go bankrupt. The math is simple but brutal. Imagine 10 entrepreneurs each start a company. 9 companies fail completely. One becomes worth $10 billion. If that winning founder owns 20%, they made $2 billion. The 9 who failed made 0. Now, imagine you could only pick one to work on. Most people would choose the safe-looking option. Musk would choose the one with unlimited upside, even if it had a 90% chance of failure, because the expected value calculation is different when outcomes follow power laws. What most people miss is that Musk doesn't avoid risk. He systematically reduces risk while preserving upside. This is called risk architecture. When SpaceX was starting, everyone said private space companies were impossible. So Musk hired the top rocket engineers from NASA, studied every previous space failure, and designed systems with multiple redundancies. He didn't reduce the ambition. He reduced the unnecessary risks while keeping the asymmetric bet intact. Here's the visual contrast. Traditional wealth advice says save 10% of income, invest in index funds, retire in 40 years. This works for stability. It doesn't work for transformation. The Musk blueprint says live on minimum expenses, invest 100% of surplus capital into asymmetric opportunities, and compress 40 years of growth into 10. The first path guarantees comfortable middle class. The second path risks temporary poverty for potential generational wealth. The better model for resource allocation is the barbell strategy. This comes from probability theory. Put 90% of resources into extremely safe positions. Put 10% into extremely volatile high-upside bets. Never put anything in the mediocre middle. For Musk, this meant keeping enough money to survive while investing everything else into moonshot companies. The safe part covers downside. The volatile part captures upside. The middle generates neither safety nor exponential returns. Now, here's where psychology enters. Most people experience loss aversion. They feel the pain of losing $100 twice as strongly as the pleasure of gaining $100. This makes them avoid asymmetric bets even when the math is favorable. Musk appears to have rewired this instinct. He treats financial loss as tuition for pattern recognition. Every failure teaches him what doesn't work, narrowing the search space for what does. This is Bayesian updating in real time. The observation about leverage is critical. Musk uses 4 types simultaneously. Labor leverage means hiring people to multiply effort. Capital leverage means using money to create more money. Code leverage means writing software once that runs infinitely. Media leverage means building audience that amplifies every message. Most people use only labor leverage, trading their own time. Wealthy people stack all 4 types, creating exponential rather than linear growth. Here's the part about decision-making speed. Research shows the average person makes about 35,000 decisions per day, most of them unconscious. Wealthy individuals appear to make fewer total decisions, but vastly more consequential ones. Musk famously decides in seconds on problems that would take committees months. This isn't recklessness, it's pre-computation. He has already built mental models for entire categories of problems, so individual decisions become pattern matching rather than analysis from scratch. The practical shift is about information diet and input quality. Most people consume information randomly. Social media, news, entertainment, mixed together without filter. Musk reportedly reads multiple hours per day across physics, engineering, business, and history. This creates a knowledge graph where concepts from different domains connect. Rocket engineering principles apply to manufacturing optimization. Physics constraints reveal business opportunities. The richer the knowledge graph, the faster pattern recognition operates. Here's the framework for skill acquisition. Instead of becoming average at many things, Musk became exceptional at the specific skills that unlock asymmetric opportunities. Deep technical knowledge in engineering, enough physics to understand first principles, enough finance to structure deals, enough persuasion to recruit talent and raise capital. He didn't waste time on skills with linear returns. He focused entirely on skills with exponential applications. The final component is narrative construction. Wealthy individuals understand that capital flows toward compelling visions of the future. Musk doesn't just build electric cars. He sells the vision of sustainable energy for civilization. He doesn't just launch rockets. He sells the vision of making humanity multiplanetary. The product is the first step. The narrative is what attracts the billions in capital required to scale. Most people sell products. Wealthy people sell inevitability. So, if Musk started with 0 tomorrow, here's the exact sequence. First, identify his highest leverage skill and sell it as a service to generate immediate capital. probably technical consulting for aerospace or automotive companies at premium rates. Second, live on 20% of income and invest 80% into the most asymmetric opportunity visible in current markets. Likely something in artificial intelligence or energy given his domain expertise. Third, recruit a small team of exceptional people willing to work for equity instead of salary. Fourth, build the minimum viable product that proves the concept. Fifth, use that proof to raise institutional capital. Sixth, scale to billion-dollar valuation within 5 to 7 years. The system isn't about luck or genius. It's about operating in environments where power laws dominate, making asymmetric bets repeatedly, stacking multiple forms of leverage, and moving faster than competition can respond. Most people never attempt this because the downside feels too scary. But the data shows that calculated risk-taking in asymmetric environments produces nearly all significant wealth creation in capitalism. If this breakdown shifted how you think about wealth, hit subscribe. Next video reveals exactly how the top 1% thinks about time differently than everyone else, and why that single mental shift can add decades of productive output to a lifetime. That drops in 3 days. Subscribe so you don't miss it.